All right, welcome back to Fourth Trimester Voices. My name is Dr. Choa, and today we're going to dive into a topic that does not always get the attention that it deserves, and that is postpartum anemia. Studies show that up to 30% of women in the postpartum period experience anemia, especially if there was blood loss during the delivery. Here's a little bit of a context, okay? If you've been feeling tired, lightheaded, short of breath after giving birth, you may be thinking, hey, like I just went through a stressful period of time. It's just motherhood. You may be falling asleep in different places and thinking, listen, I'm not getting the sleep that I need. So that's why I'm constantly tired. And hey, it's just postpartum. But I just want to pause for a little bit and say that all fatigue is not only due to sleep deprivation. Some fatigue actually can be a sign of anemia. So today we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about how to identify and see if that's what's going on or if you're just tired because you're a new mom. Why is it important to discuss anemia? Well, anemia by nature means that you have low hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin is important in the body because hemoglobin takes oxygen to your brain, it takes oxygen to your heart. You need oxygen for your body to function. So if your hemoglobin levels are low for whatever reason, right? You're anemic, you're not getting oxygen to the vital parts of your body. So your body is working overtime to try to use what it has. And so your heart rate is going to be going faster because your heart needs oxygen to function. And so you may be a little bit more foggy in the brain, feeling more sleepy because your body's like, just sit down, conserve energy because we don't have enough oxygen to do all of these important bodily functions. So, addressing anemia and seeing what the cause may be is extremely important because your body needs hemoglobin, your body needs oxygen. So, I wanted to come on here, put my physician hat on, and just talk to you all about anemia. So, like I said, anemia is when your body does not have enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen to the tissues. And it is carried in a molecule or something called a hemoglobin, which is what we measure in the blood. After birth, a lot of women suffer from it, and there's really different reasons. And so, for some women, it may be that during the delivery period, they lost some blood. On average, most women are going to lose about half a liter with a vaginal delivery. And then during a C-section, most women will lose about 1 liter, right? And so, depending on how you went into pregnancy and childbirth, that can affect how badly your level of anemia is in the postpartum period. So this is one of the reasons that when you are pregnant, that your OBGYN checks blood work, right? They want to make sure that when they're going into deliver you, that you're not working on 2 hemoglobins, right? Or 5 hemoglobins. They need to make sure they optimize you, that you're starting off with high numbers so that if there is significant blood loss during the postpartum period or the childbirth period, that they may not feel like they have to catch up or give you blood back. And so also, another reason why we typically give women iron during pregnancy or even with their prenatal vitamins, because we want to build up their hemoglobin. So, most causes of anemia in pregnant and postpartum women is due to iron deficiency anemia. So, iron is a key component of hemoglobin. So, the protein that in red blood cells that carries oxygen. So, in order for hemoglobin to work, you need iron. So, for a lot of women, iron is the cause of their anemia. You can lose iron with blood loss. You can also not make enough iron, maybe because you're not getting it in your diet. And so you may not be taking in the iron. You may be losing iron, or your body may be eating it up for certain different reasons. But most likely for pregnant and postpartum women, they are losing iron, right, through blood loss, or they're not taking in enough through their diet. And so this is why women are given iron tablets. Now, for some women who've had chronic anemia because maybe they've had heavy periods, they're also probably going to get into pregnancy and childbirth with a lower hemoglobin because they've spent all this time losing all these blood from their menstrual cycle. And so, super important for pregnant women to take iron or to eat iron-rich foods and to build up their stores because we just don't want to get to a point where during childbirth you get into issues, right? So, when we talk about risk factors, I talked about women who've had heavy bleeding before getting pregnant. These are people who generally have a risk of being iron deficient because you started off already at a deficit. So now you're entering pregnancy, you're at a deficit. So, therefore, during childbirth and postpartum, you are at risk of having anemia. So definitely, if this is you, you want to make sure that if you're struggling with fatigue, that you make sure that somebody is checking your iron levels and someone is checking your hemoglobin, right? Other people who are at risk for iron deficiency anemia in the postpartum period are those who had low iron levels during pregnancy. Like I said, your doctor's probably checking these levels. And so if they see that your iron levels are low, they're going to really encourage you to definitely take some iron tablets. And for some women, they may even need an iron transfusion to boost their levels up to a certain point.